What's going on, everybody? It's Corey from Sable Guys TCG here, and today we're going to be looking at one of the decks that we profiled the other day in one of our battle testing videos, Golisopod GX. Really like the deck. Made a couple changes to it from the last time we played it. Made it a little bit more consistent. Definitely like the list now, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. First off, we're going to be starting with 4 win pots. Like I said in the previous video, in our battle video, do use the win pods from Burning Shadows with the ability to let you have free retreat on your first turn. Just neat to have. Very easy to get you out of the active on your first turn. Second, we're going to go with 3 Golisopod GXs. I think this is a pretty decent number. Great single energy attacker. Really easy to hit your mid-range numbers and your 120s, 150s. Definitely think 3 is enough in this deck. Gonna have 1 Golisopod, the baby version. I think 1 is definitely enough. Definitely need this against things like Ninetales with the baby coming out if you can't find your Hex Maniac in the deck. Definitely nice to just have a non-GX or EX attacker in the deck at all times. Second, we're going to the secondary attacker of the deck. We're going with 2 Zoruas. I think 2 Zoruas is enough. I never really found myself needing more than 2 in the deck. Pretty consistently got out of Zoroark every time, it seemed like. So, leading into that, we're going to go with 2 Zoroarks with its ability Stand In. Once during your turn before you attack. If this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. Really neat ability. Also has great synergy with Golisopod's first impression attack. So you can get him on the bench, retreat your Zoroark out, and get that 120 number every turn. Also a great secondary attacker, like I said, with this Mind Jack attack, does 10 plus 30 for every Pokemon on your opponent's bench. So like I said, just another great secondary attacker. Really like Zoroark and the synergy it has with this in this deck. So moving on to your draw support, we're going to go with 3 Tapu Lele's. I thought about the Shaman in the deck, and I come to the conclusion that I did want to go with 3 Tapu Lele's instead of a 2-1 Shaman line. Just because I liked having a more bulky Pokemon on the bench instead of having a easy 2-prize target sitting on the bench at all times. Even with the DCEs in the deck, the Sky returning back up, I definitely liked having Tapu Lele in the deck more than I did Shaman. Moving on to our supporters, we're going to have 4 Professor Sycamores. Greatest draw supporter in the game right now. Discard your hand, draw 7 cards. Definitely good for consistency. Need 4 of these in the deck. I think it's pretty staple in every deck right now. So yeah, moving on, we're going to go with 3 ends. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck and draws for however many prize cards they have. Great card, both for you and your for you in late game and early situations. If you don't like your hand, can't discard away some of the cards that you have, some of your resources with Sycamore. It's always great to have it in Wonder Tag for the end, get that out, shuffle it back in, so that way you're not cycling away your resources too fast. Definitely a great card. Also, like I said, if your opponent's up, a nice end to 1 can always win you a game. I know that by experience, having it done to me at a League Cup this year. So we're going to go with 2 Guzmas as our next supporter. I think 2 is enough with Versus Seeker still around. Once rotation comes, maybe 3. You might still leave it at 2. Not quite sure yet. Haven't really tested too much post-rotation. Brother's been more into that than I have. But if you don't know what Guzma does, it switches one of your opponent's Pokemon on the bench with their active Pokemon. But you also switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So kind of like an escape rope, except you get to choose. Like I said, also really great with first impression on Golisopod, making sure that you're always hitting that 120 number every time. Next, we're going to go with 1 Professor Kukui. Nice little secondary or third draw support, also helping you get another 20 damage on top of your opponent. We're going to go with 1 Bridget. I think 1 Bridget's enough for right now. Definitely when post-rotation comes out, I think 2 will be the correct number. Just nice to have these really good supporters. Make sure that you're getting your bench set up really consistently every turn. Bridge is definitely necessary in this deck. Going to move on to one Acerola. If you don't know what this does, it's a new card, kind of like AZ, except you put one of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it into your hand and all cards attached to it. So unlike AZ, where it didn't have to have any damage, but you did have to discard the cards attached to it, Acerola lets you pick up everything attached as long as it has some damage to it. So really nice. You can come in Acerola and reset your Golisopod with Force of Giant Plants on one turn and go back in and first impression attack again for 120. Every turn it seems like. Really like this deck, like I said, really consistent, especially with Acerola in the deck. I'm going to go with Hex Maniac as your next card. Really good against the Gardevoir matchup, stop their Secret Spring abilities, Metagross, stop the Geotech systems, the new Darkrai, with its ability, I can't quite remember what it's called. It's kind of slipping my mind right now. But just an overall great card. Nice to shut off your opponent's abilities, Shaymins, Octilleries, Tapu Lele's. Just an overall great card to have in every deck. Moving on to our items, we're going to have 4 Ultra Balls. Greatest searching support in the deck. Don't really know if I need to go into much detail about that. Next, we're going to go with 4 Versus Seekers. As you all know, Versus Seeker will be rotating out in this rotation. Will be a missed card by some players, also not missed by other players. But I definitely think 4 is a necessity in the deck. With you want the Acerola a couple times, Guzma a couple times, or if you're stuck with a late game into one and you don't have any supporters in your hand, you draw into a Versus Seeker. Always nice to get that back for Sycamore or Kukui or Hex Maniac late in the game that you need. Next, we're going to go with 3 Float Stones. Definitely think 3 is necessary in the deck, just because you want to be switching in and out every turn with your Zoroarks and your stand-in retreats, or just switching out of Golisopods individually. Just going to go with 3 Choice Bands. Just nice to hit those extra numbers on your GXs and EXs. First impression would now hit for 150. Second attack would hit for 130, and his Crossing Cut GX would hit for a solid 180. So it's nice to get you a little extra damage in between turns. Next, we're going to go with 2 Revitalizers. I decided to go with 2 Revitalizers instead of a Super Rod or a Rescue Stretcher. I feel like I was more in need of getting Golisopods back in play than I was anything else. Maybe you could run a 1-1 line, but I definitely like the Revitalizers just because I want to get Golisopods into active more often than I do anything else. Going with a little Disruption, we're going to try 1 Field Blower. It's nice to get your opponent's Choice Bands and Float Stones off of them. 1 Special Charge, just to get your DCEs back in the deck. Just a nice little card to have. We're going to go on to one of the cards that will be getting banned in this next rotation. 3 Force of Giant Plants. Some people consider it cancerous. I kind of like the card. If you don't know what Force Giant Plants does, each player's grass Pokemon in play can evolve during the turn that they are played. So you can set down a Wimpod, automatically evolve into a Golisopod. That's what I was talking about with the Acerola. So you Acerola up, have your Force in play, Wimpod, Golisopod, then attack with its first impression attack off an attachment. I really think 3 is enough. Didn't see the need for 4. Really couldn't find the room either. You might could cut a Field Blower, I guess, if you wanted to for the 4th Giant's Plants. But I definitely think that 3 is enough in the deck. And with your energy count, we're going to go with 7 Grass Energies and 4 DCEs. Definitely think it's a solid energy count. All your attackers are either single Grass Energy or single DCE attachment to get them going. Definitely don't think you need any more than that. Wasn't having too much trouble finding any energy during my testing. So I definitely think that is plenty. Yeah, that's about it, guys. Like I said, I really like the deck. I think it's pretty consistent. Maybe you can make a couple tweaks to it. Like I said, maybe they'll switch up with the revitalizers. Maybe go with a 1/1 super rod or a rescue stretcher. But I definitely like both of them in the deck. Yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys leave some comments. Let me know your opinions. Like I said, I hope you enjoy. Like, comment, subscribe. And this is Corey from Sable Guys TCG signing off. You guys have a great night.